The infant's screams pierced through the first-class cabin like shattered glass. Every passenger winced, but none dared complain when they saw the man holding the child. Brier Lee sat rigidly, his jaw clenched tight. The custom-tailored charcoal suit that normally made him look powerful now felt like a cage. Traditional Korean tattoos, dragons and phoenixes, crawled up his neck from beneath his collar. His normally cold eyes held something foreign, panic. The baby, his son Kim, continued to wail. 3 months old. 3 months since Miji had died, bringing him into the world. 3 months since Brier Lee, the most feared man in the Korean-American underground, had become something he never thought possible. Helpless. "Sir," one of his bodyguards leaned in carefully. "We could stop at the next station." "No." Brier's voice was silk-covered steel. "We stay on schedule." But Kim didn't care about schedules. The infant only knew hunger, discomfort, and the absence of warmth he'd known for 3 precious months. Brier had tried everything: bottles, pacifiers, rocking motions that felt awkward in arms more accustomed to signing contracts and ending lives. Nothing worked. 4 rows back, Nancy Porter heard the desperate cries and felt her body respond instinctively. Her breasts ached with sympathetic letdown, milk threatening to soak through her nursing pads despite the fact that her son was gone. She closed her eyes, forcing down the wave of grief. 8 months since she'd held Franklin. 8 months since the tiny heart had simply stopped beating. Sudden infant death syndrome, the doctors had said, as if naming the nightmare made it hurt less. Nancy had been heading home from a grief counseling conference in Seattle, trying to put her shattered life back together. She was a pediatric nurse, or had been. After losing Franklin, she couldn't return to the NICU, couldn't watch other babies thrive while hers lay cold in the ground. The crying intensified. Nancy knew that sound, the desperate, hungry wail of an infant who needed something primal. "Miss, are you all right?" The train attendant paused beside her. Nancy looked toward where the crying originated. "That baby. I'm a nurse. Maybe I can help." The passenger has been quite firm about not wanting assistance, but if you'd like to try. Nancy followed the attendant down the aisle, her heart pounding. This was insane. She was still lactating, her body producing milk for a baby who no longer existed. But she couldn't offer to breastfeed a stranger's child, could she? Then she saw him. Brier Lee sat like an emperor, even in distress. Sharp cheekbones, strong jaw, eyes so dark they absorbed light. The tattoos told stories in ink, traditional Korean imagery that marked him as dangerous. The way other passengers averted their eyes confirmed it. The baby in his arms looked so small, so helpless. Tiny features scrunched in misery, skin a beautiful blend of Korean and something else. "Sir," the attendant's voice was cautious, "this passenger is a nurse." Brier's gaze snapped at Nancy like a physical blow. "A nurse," he repeated, accent lingering at the edges. "Pediatric," Nancy heard herself say. "I know that cry. He's hungry. I've tried the bottle. He won't take it." Nancy's eyes moved to the baby. Some babies won't take artificial nipples, especially if they were breastfed initially. Was his mother? Pain flashed across Brier's face. "She died 3 months ago, giving birth to him." The cabin went silent around them. Nancy's eyes burned with tears, her grief recognizing hers. Then he's probably refusing the bottle because he's looking for something familiar, something he associates with comfort. Their eyes locked. Nancy saw the moment he understood what she was implying. "Are you offering what I think you're offering?" Nancy swallowed hard. "I lost my son 8 months ago. My body hasn't. I'm still producing. If he needs, if you allow me, I could try." The silence was deafening. Brier stared at this stranger who had just offered the most intimate gift one human could give another. "The restroom," he said abruptly. "It's more private." Nancy followed him, acutely aware of the bodyguard behind them. In the bathroom doorway, Brier hesitated. "What's his name?" Nancy asked. "Kim, after my grandfather." Nancy took the infant carefully. She looked up at Brier and saw vulnerability that took her breath away. "I'll take care of him." 15 minutes later, Nancy emerged with Kim sleeping peacefully in her arms. The infant's face was relaxed, tiny fist curled against her chest. Brier looked at his son, truly peaceful for the first time since Miji's death, and felt something shift in his chest. "He ate well," Nancy said softly. "He'll probably sleep for a few hours now." As she moved to hand Kim back, Brier's hand wrapped around her wrist with surprising gentleness. "Your name?" "Nancy. Nancy Porter." "Brier Lee." He released her wrist, taking Kim carefully. "I owe you a debt. In my world, everything comes with a price. What you just did, that's not something I can simply walk away from. I should get back to my seat." "Wait." The word was command, not a request. He pulled out a business card. "Call me when we land. I want to properly thank you." "That's not necessary." "It is to me." His voice had gone soft, dangerous. "You gave my son something precious. The least I can do is buy you dinner." Nancy knew she should say no. Everything about this man screamed danger. But there was something in his expression when he looked at his son, a vulnerability that called to her own broken heart. "Dinner. Just dinner." "Just dinner," he echoed, though his tone suggested he was making a promise neither understood yet. The black SUV that picked Nancy up 2 days later was not what she had expected. The driver was a mountain of a man, with cold eyes and an earpiece. The windows were tinted so dark she couldn't see out. "Where are we going?" "The Lee estate, miss. Mr. Lee thought you would be more comfortable with a private dinner, given the baby." The Lee estate, not Brier. The formal distance suggested this was business, not pleasure. The estate was massive when they arrived, a stunning blend of traditional Korean architecture and modern luxury. Nancy counted at least 4 security personnel before the SUV stopped at the main entrance. "Miss Porter, I'm Minso, the house manager. Mr. Lee is waiting in the nursery." Minso led her through a home that belonged in magazines. Marble floors, priceless artwork, furniture that cost more than Nancy's yearly salary. Everything screamed wealth, power, and danger. They climbed a grand staircase, and Nancy heard Kim's cries before she saw him. Brier stood by the window, Kim wailing in his arms. He'd shed his suit jacket, revealing forearms corded with muscle and extensive tattoos. Traditional Korean imagery mixed with something darker. "Nancy," his voice was rough with relief. "Thank God, he's been crying for you." "Crying for me?" Nancy's voice came out high. "Brier, what is this? Who are you really?" Something flickered in his eyes. "I think you already know. You're with organized crime." "I am organized crime. I'm the head of the Lee family. We control most operations from here to San Francisco." Nancy backed toward the door. "I need to leave." "But Kim needs you." Brier's voice stopped her, broken and desperate. "Look at him, Nancy. Really look." Against her better judgment, she did. The baby was thinner than on the train. His cries had a weak quality that made her nurse's instincts scream. What happened? He looked fine 2 days ago. "He won't eat. Not the bottle. Not anything. He took 1 bottle the night we landed, and since then, nothing. The pediatrician wants to hospitalize him, but I can't do that to him. He's already lost his mother." Nancy reached for Kim, and the moment the baby was in her arms, his cries diminished. He turned his face against her chest, rooting instinctively. "I'm sorry," Brier said. "I know I have no right to ask, but when I saw how he responded to you, Nancy, I haven't seen my son peaceful since the day he was born." Nancy looked from the baby to the man before her, this terrifying, powerful, dangerous man who was also a desperate father. "This is insane. I should run and never look back." "Probably," but he needs to eat. Nancy fed Kim in privacy while Brier waited outside. When she emerged with the baby sleeping peacefully, Brier's relief was palpable. "We need to talk about the situation," he said, leading her to a sitting room. "What situation?" "Word got out about you. 3 families have already reached out making inquiries about whether I've claimed you formally, whether you're under my protection." His eyes met hers. In the old traditions, a woman who nurses a boss's child becomes sacred to that family. "I'm not Korean." Nancy's voice was flat. "I saw how Min So looked at me." "That's exactly the problem. To some families, what you did is sacred. To others, you're an outsider threatening bloodline purity. Either way, you're now valuable and vulnerable." Nancy stood abruptly. "I didn't agree to any of this." "I know, but in my world, intentions don't matter. Actions do." He moved closer. "Nancy, I can protect you, but I need you to stay, at least until we can get Kim eating properly." "How long?" "1 week. Help me transition him to bottles. After that, I'll have my lawyer draw up a contract. You'll be free to leave with no retaliation. You have my word." "Your word? You're a criminal." "I'm a father first, and my son is dying because he refuses to eat. You're the only person who can help him." Nancy looked at Kim sleeping in the bassinet. She thought of Franklin, of those last precious days. 1 week, and I want that contract within the hour." An hour later, Nancy signed papers stating she was free to leave after 7 days with no interference from the Lee family. As Brier's lawyer left, Min So appeared with tea. "You should know what you're getting into," the older woman said quietly. "My husband worked for Mr. Lee's father, 30 years in this life. A rival's bullet took him in the end, but those 30 years were full of love and loyalty." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I see how Mr. Lee looks at you, like you're salvation, but you're not Korean. The old families won't accept this easily. You'll face prejudice, hatred, danger. The question is whether you're strong enough." "I'm only staying a week." "That's what I told myself once, 40 years ago." 4 days into Nancy's 1-week stay, the estate had become a strange kind of home. Kim was gaining weight, his cries stronger and healthier. Brier was there for almost every feeding, watching his son with an expression that twisted Nancy's heart. "He's doing so much better," Nancy said on the 4th evening. "Another few days and we can try transitioning to expressed milk." "Good." But Brier's tone didn't sound pleased. "What's wrong?" "I had you investigated. The moment you offered to feed Kim, I had my people pull everything about you." He said it without apology. "I know about Franklin, about the SIDS diagnosis, about the fact that you haven't worked since. I know you lost everything that mattered." Nancy should have been furious. Instead, she felt oddly relieved. "Then you understand why this can't be more than temporary, why I can't get attached to Kim or to me," Brier finished. He knelt beside her chair. "Nancy, I know loss. I watched Miji die bringing our son into the world, watched her bleed out while doctors tried everything. I held her hand as the light left her eyes." Tears streamed down Nancy's face. "I'm so sorry." "Don't be sorry. Just don't write us off because you're scared." He leaned closer. "These past 4 days, I've watched you be brave enough to feed a stranger's child, brave enough to walk into a world you didn't understand, brave enough to love my son, even knowing you'd have to leave him." "Brier." He let me show you something. He pulled out his phone, playing a soft melody. "This is what my mother used to sing to me, a Korean lullaby. I've been trying to sing it to Kim, but..." His voice caught. "I want him to know where he comes from." Nancy listened to the haunting melody, then watched as Brier sang softly in Korean. "Teach me," Nancy whispered. "Teach me the words." For the next hour, he taught her the lullaby, their voices blending as Kim slept. When Kim stirred, Nancy sang in her imperfect Korean, and Brier's eyes filled with tears. After they put Kim in the crib together, Brier was right there. His hand cupped her cheek, thumbs stroking her skin. "You're already ours, whether you admit it or not." Then he was kissing her, gentle at first, asking permission rather than demanding. Nancy froze for half a heartbeat before melting into the kiss like coming home. When they broke apart, Brier rested his forehead against hers. "Stay. Not for a week. Stay." "I can't." "You can. Kim needs you, I need you, and unless I'm completely misreading things, you need us too." "I'm scared." "So am I, but I'm more scared of letting you walk away." He kissed her forehead. 3 more days on your contract. Give me 3 days to convince you to stay." Nancy woke to chaos. The explosion shattered pre-dawn silence, rattling windows. Her first thought was Kim. She ran to the nursery, finding Brier already there, his son clutched protectively. He was dressed in black, a gun visible at his hip. "What's happening?" "They made their move. The Park family bombed my warehouse." His face was carved from stone. One of Brier's men burst through the door, blood on his temple. "Boss, it's a distraction. They hit 3 locations simultaneously, and they left a message." He glanced at Nancy. "They want the woman. If you don't hand over the—" He paused, not wanting to repeat the slur. "The black woman by midnight, they'll level every property you own." "Give me to them," Nancy heard herself say. "If it stops the war—" "No." Brier's voice was absolute. He handed Kim to Min-so. "Take him to the safe room, now." He gripped Nancy's shoulders. "You are under my protection. I would burn this city before I let anyone take you. Do you understand?" Nancy saw the monster everyone feared. His eyes had gone cold, his body radiating lethal intent, but his hands remained gentle. "They'll kill you." "They'll try. They'll fail." A dangerous smile curved his lips. "Nancy, I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" She nodded. "Good. Min-so will take you to the safe room with Kim. Stay there until I come for you. Don't open the door for anyone else." "Brier." "I'll come back. I promise." He cupped her face. "We have 3 days left, remember? I'm not done convincing you to stay." The safe room was deep in the mansion's basement. It was surprisingly comfortable, a full apartment with bedrooms, kitchen, and enough supplies to last weeks. Hours crawled by. Nancy fed Kim when he woke, her mind screaming with worry. When Kim went back to sleep, Nancy found herself pacing. "You love him?" Min-so said quietly. "I barely know him." "That doesn't answer my question." Nancy stopped pacing. "How can I love someone whose world is so violent?" "I told you my husband worked for Mr. Lee's father. What I didn't tell you was that I was black too, mixed. My father was Korean, my mother African American. The old boss's family hated me, called me the same things the Park family is calling you now." She moved toward Nancy. "But my husband chose me anyway, fought his own family for me, and those 30 years were worth it." "Does the light make up for the darkness?" "That's for you to decide, but I've never seen Mr. Lee look at anyone the way he looks at you, like you're his salvation." The lights flickered, once, twice, then died as backup generators kicked in. "What does that mean?" Nancy's voice rose with panic. Min-so's face went pale. "It means someone cut the main power. It means they're here." Gunfire erupted from above. The safe room door shook with impact. Min-so produced a gun, positioning herself between Nancy and the door. "Stay behind me." An explosion rocked the room. Smoke poured through a crack in the door. "Run." Min-so shoved Nancy toward the back. "There's an emergency exit behind the bookshelf. Take Kim and run." "What about you?" "I'll slow them down. Mr. Lee is counting on you to keep his son safe. Go, Miss Porter, now." Nancy ran, Kim screaming in her arms, fumbling for the hidden latch. The bookshelf swung open, revealing a narrow tunnel. Behind her, she heard Min-so's gunfire. Once, twice, 3 times. Then a man's voice shouting in Korean. Nancy ran through the darkness with Kim clutched to her chest, not knowing if she was running towards safety or into the arms of the enemy, not knowing if Brier was alive or dead. The tunnel ended in woods behind the estate. In the distance, flames rose from the mansion. Then she heard a car engine. Nancy turned to run, but it was too late. The SUV stopped and men poured out, not Brier's men. One stepped forward, older with cold eyes. The famous wet nurse. Finally, take her. Nancy fought, screaming, clutching Kim desperately, but it was useless. The last thing she saw before they forced a cloth over her mouth was the mansion burning. Then, darkness claimed her. Nancy woke in a room that reeked of old money. Her first thought was Kim. She bolted upright to find the baby sleeping peacefully in a bassinet beside the bed. Awake, finally. The voice came from shadows. The older man from the woods stepped into light. I am Park Jin-ho, and you, my dear, are worth your weight in gold. Where are we? My estate, about 50 miles from the Lee compound, or what's left of it. His smile was cruel. Don't worry, your beloved boss is alive, for now. I made sure word reached him about where to find you. You want him to come? Of course. Brier Lee destroyed my family 10 years ago, killed my sons, took my territory, and now he cares about something. Finally, he has a weakness. He leaned in. 2 weaknesses, you and his heir. Tell me, does he love you? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play stupid. Park's hand gripped her chin painfully. I've seen the reports, the way he looks at you, the way he's protected you. Brier Lee hasn't cared about anything since his wife died, but he cares about you. He released her, and that is going to destroy him. He'll kill you, perhaps, but first he'll have to watch me hurt what he loves, and that will be worth dying for. He moved to the window. He's already here, arrived an hour ago, alone, no weapons, no backup, hands raised in surrender. Do you know what he's offering me? Everything, his entire empire, territory, businesses, operations, all of it, just to keep you and his son safe. Nancy's heart stopped. No! Oh, but he is. Right now, he's standing in my courtyard, willing to trade everything he's built for the life of a black woman and a half-breed child. His disgust was evident. Pathetic. You've corrupted him. I didn't ask for any of this. No, just swooped in offering your body to feed his child. Do you know what the old families think of you? Pollution, a stain on the Lee bloodline. He pulled a gun, pressing it to Nancy's temple. Let's go see what your lover is willing to sacrifice. Park dragged Nancy downstairs into a study overlooking the courtyard. There, illuminated by floodlights, stood Brier. He looked like he'd walked through hell. His suit was torn and bloodstained, a cut above his eye. But he stood tall, hands raised. When their eyes met, Nancy saw Brier's mask crack. Raw emotion flooded his face. Lee, Park called, your empire for the woman and child. Sign over everything. I'll let them live. Done. Brier didn't hesitate. I'll sign whatever you want. Just don't hurt them. Nancy's eyes widened. He's giving up everything for her and Kim? Touching, but I think we both know I can't let you live, Lee. You'll just rebuild. No, you have to die. But first, he pressed the gun harder against Nancy's temple. You'll watch me take everything, starting with her. Everything happened in slow motion. Nancy saw Brier move impossibly fast. His hand went to his ankle, came up with a weapon. At the same moment, Nancy slammed her head backward into Park's face with all her strength. Park jerked. Nancy bit down hard on his gun hand. The shot went wide, shattering the window. Then doors burst open. Brier's men poured in. They'd been there all along, hidden, waiting. but Brier himself was already inside, moving like death incarnate. Park grabbed for Nancy again, but Nancy swung the bassinet at his knee. The old man stumbled. It was all the opening Brier needed. "You touched what's mine," Brier snarled, and his fist connected with Park's jaw. The fight was brutal but brief. Within minutes, Park was on his knees, bleeding, defeated. Brier stood over him, gun leveled at the old man's head. Nancy saw his finger tighten on the trigger. "Brier!" Nancy's voice cut through the haze. "Don't!" He looked at her, and Nancy saw him warring with himself. "He tried to kill you," Brier growled. "Called you—" His voice broke on the racial slur. "I know, but if you kill him like this, in cold blood while I watch, you'll lose yourself. And I need you. Kim needs you." Her voice softened. "We need the man I love." Brier stared at her, the gun wavering. "Say that again?" "I love you. I love you, Brier Lee. I love your strength and your vulnerability. I love how you fight for your son. I love the man who taught me a Korean lullaby. I love you despite the darkness, despite the danger, despite everything that should keep us apart." Brier lowered his gun slowly. He looked at Park, then back at Nancy, and she saw the moment he chose love over vengeance, chose mercy over violence. "Take him," Brier ordered his men. "Turn him over to the council. Let them decide his fate." As Park was dragged away, Brier crossed to Nancy. He pulled her and Kim into his arms, holding them like he'd never let go. "I thought I'd lost you both. You found us," Nancy pulled back to look at his face. "You gave up everything to save us." "I'd give up everything 1,000 times over. None of it matters without you. The empire, the power, the name, it all means nothing if you're not here. The families won't accept that. You can't just walk away from being a boss." "Watch me. I'm done with this life, Nancy. You made me want something more, made me remember there's light in the world." He kissed her softly. "I'm taking my son and the woman I love, and I'm walking away. My cousin Jean Woo can have the position. I'm taking you and Kim somewhere far from this world, somewhere safe." His forehead pressed against hers. "If you'll have me." Nancy looked at this dangerous, beautiful man who'd chosen her over everything, who'd sacrificed his empire for love, who'd let mercy triumph because she'd asked. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, to all of it." 6 months later, Nancy stood in a small chapel overlooking the Oregon coast, wearing a simple white dress. Kim, now 9 months old and healthy, babbled happily in the wedding planner's arms. "Nervous?" Brier asked, looking devastating in a charcoal suit. "Terrified, but in a good way." The wedding was small, no mention of bosses or empires, just two people promising to love each other through whatever came next. When Brier kissed her, Nancy felt complete for the first time since losing Franklin. The reception was at their home, a stunning structure that blended Korean architectural elements with Pacific Northwest aesthetics, a perfect metaphor for their life, honoring heritage while embracing something new. As they danced under string lights, Nancy marveled at how much had changed. "Any regrets?" she asked. "Not one. Though I should warn you, I got a call today. Elder Park, different Park family, asked to speak with us. I told him to come after the reception." 2 hours later, a distinguished man in his 70s arrived. "Elder Park," Brier greeted him carefully. "Relax, Mr. Lee. I come as a friend." He handed Brier an envelope sealed with multiple family stamps. It was a formal document signed by all major Korean syndicates, a permanent release from all obligations, all ties, all claims. "You're free," Elder Park said. "Truly free." The families voted unanimously. He turned to Nancy respectfully. "What you did for Mr. Lee's son, Mrs. Lee, that kind of love reminded us why we have these traditions, why we protect women and children above all else." He bowed slightly. "Brier, you've taught us about honor. Real honor isn't maintaining tradition at all costs. It's protecting those you love, even when it means walking away from power. After Elder Park left, Nancy and Brier stood on their deck in darkness. "It's really over," Nancy whispered. "It's really over." Brier pulled her close. "New life, new beginning." Nancy smiled, her hand going to her stomach, where their secret was still too new to be visible. "And maybe sooner than you think, a little brother or sister for Kim." Brier's eyes widened. "Are you 23 weeks along? I wanted to tell you after the wedding." His answer was to sweep her into his arms and spin her around, laughing with pure joy. When he set her down, both were crying happy tears. "More than okay, Nancy. You've given me everything. A reason to live, a reason to love, a future worth having. You gave me that too. You and Kim saved me when I thought I couldn't be saved." Inside, Kim let out a small cry through the monitor. They broke apart with matching smiles. "He's hungry. Then let's go feed our son," Brier replied, taking her hand. "Together, the way it should be." As they walked inside, Nancy looked back once at the ocean stretching endlessly before them. She'd walked into a storm 6 months ago on that train. She'd found the most dangerous man on the West Coast and fed his child. And somehow, impossibly, miraculously, she'd found her home. Not in a place, but in a person. In a man who'd given up an empire for love. In a baby who'd needed her as much as she'd needed him. In a family built not on blood or tradition, but on choice. They found Kim standing in his crib, tiny hands gripping the rail. The moment he saw them, his face lit up. "Mama," he babbled. Nancy's eyes filled with tears as she lifted him, and Brier wrapped his arms around both of them. As she settled into the nursery rocking chair to feed Kim, Brier sat beside her, his hand resting on her shoulder. Nancy realized this was what healing looked like. Not forgetting Franklin, never that, but making room for new love, new life, new hope. The grief would always be there, a quiet ache in her heart, but so would this. The weight of a healthy baby in her arms, the warmth of a man who loved her fiercely, the promise of another child growing inside her. Life after loss, love after darkness, family forged in the most unexpected way. Nancy looked at Brier and smiled through her tears. "Welcome home," he whispered. And finally, after so much pain and fear and running, Nancy understood what home truly meant. It wasn't a place. It wasn't culture or tradition or bloodline. Home was wherever they were together.